Humphrey, it's all yours.
Good morning. At Eysys, we have a singular vision which guides us every single day we enhance Holistic. We believe in the coming decade, machine learning will come to be seen as the single biggest factor which you can use to improve travel profitability as a merchant or retailer. We're 4 years old. We've got 30 employees. Let me tell you about the management team. Together, Simon and I have 30 years combined experience in applying innovation to travel technology. We've worked in the UK, continental Europe, and North America. We worked together at Comtech, which we sold to private equity, realizing strong returns for our investors. So rather than talk about machine learning first, let me flick it around and say, what difference do we make to our customers today? Well, for cruise.co.uk, we find the needle in their customer database haystack every single day in real time. What that means is, for a relatively expensive outbound team, which needs to be kept economically fed at all times, we find 0.025% of people, the best 0.025% of people, who would welcome a call to close a sale. Since going live, we've increased conversion for that team by over 50%. And across all channels, we are able to distinguish between bookers and lookers to 85% accuracy. We don't just understand cruise, however. For Travelbag, part of the Donata Group, we are able to predict country of booking and resort of booking to 97% and 92% respectively for flight plus flight and hotel bookings. Those are pretty impressive numbers. What this means is upselling becomes much more relevant for that web design team. That's an important input into the design process, and their user journey can be optimized for people who come to the website instead of pushing them back into the conversion funnel. Now, we see three major challenges with our current customers and prospects that we talk to over and over again. Number one, the never-ending rise in the cost of digital marketing. Secondly, the need to engage with your customer on their terms, their devices, their channels, and their times of day. And last but not least, the continual problem of differentiation, price, availability, content, and brand. So how do we address these challenges? Well, machine learning is already in the travel space. It's been here for 10, 12 years at least. Most commonly deployed, as you can see here, where we augment traditional search results with personalized search results. And we either display them in the same web page in a different panel, or email, or we call, whatever. It's the Amazon model. It's well known and it's well understood. So we all want to use it. But we ask ourselves this question: is this going to make me more profitable as a merchant? You know, we've already heard multiple presenters talk about how many websites people go to. So we believe you need more direct control as a merchant. Holistic 1.0 is 2 years old, released in September 2013, and it is our consumer-focused edition. So Holistic 1.0 delivers personalized recommendations across multiple devices and channels at configurable times of day, and it learns the best time of day to contact people. Holistic 1.0 has a good number of customers. All of our current customers are live in 1.0 and good data volumes. But we changed the game with 2.0. We said, what we need to do is have a merchant-focused edition, where we take exactly the same data as before, but now we play it into Holistic 2.0 to generate functionality for the merchant, not for the consumer. Not to replace 1.0, but to augment it, to live side by side with it. So now we do dynamic yield management, knowing when to increase prices where you're strong and where you must reduce prices to preserve market share or volume. Hot leads, who to call right now to close that sale. And competitive analysis, so find strengths and gaps in your offering. In some ways, machine learning is probably the quietest revolution you've never heard about, but some of the largest names in technology have already deployed it in multiple products. Not just these nice, friendly ones you see here on my slide, but ones that will really matter to you as a travel merchant or retailer, where you already spend tons of money. Google AdWords, Facebook adverts, in general, social advertising and SEM. So we see this as an uneven playing field. If you don't have access to machine learning, and these companies do, then who's to say you're not going to pay an awful lot more in the future for your advertising? This is going to get worse, not better. And one of our core goals in Holistic is to place this technology in the hands of our users to create a level playing field. Which brings me to our central technical innovation. So we take commonly available data sets, here in orange, we work with well-understood teams and stakeholders in blue to deliver, on the top in red there, machine-driven functionality for consumers and for merchants. I've already talked about recommendations, yield management, and inventory analysis. But let's take a look at the hot lead screen in Holistic. So from left to right, we score the entire customer database in real time by the propensity to book. That's valuable information. Moving across, we have the standard contact information. We integrate the Holistic 1.0 leads. And finally, we've got the channels on the right. Our business model is straightforward and simple. We charge an annual license fee and an annual maintenance fee. Our target market are tour operators and wholesalers, plus retailers. We're excited to be working with Destination Weddings as well out of Boston, our first US customer. FIFO and Comtech are both licensed our API, which we're very excited about. And finally, please come and talk to us at kiosk number 7, and thanks for your time.
Nicely done. Into the Dragon's Den you go. There you go. Leave that clicker behind. 3.5 minutes. Dragon's up to you.
So I think this is the third, maybe the fourth personalization product that we've seen. So there's a definite trend we're seeing today. And I guess I've got the same question or concern that I had for one of the earlier products that was data science based. And this is clearly a very sophisticated piece of technology. And I just wonder, is it like sort of, you know, a Formula One car where you really need to know how to drive it? Do you need to have a data scientist on staff, or are you saying that any old site can take this and start using it, just turn it on and start operating it?
The honest truth is neither. So not any old site can put it in. Right? If you already have a bad site, personalization isn't going to make it any better. But equally, the gap in the market that we do see is that we have a huge amount of domain experience, and we understand machine learning. So there's a well-known anecdote in machine learning called the no free lunch theorem, which says just because I can train something over here on your data doesn't mean it's going to work over here for your data. And that's the gap that we aim to fill. So we're building up travel types, experience in geographic regions, experience in countries, and that's what we deliver out of the box. Our typical implementation time is between 6 and 12 weeks.
And do you have a consulting product that goes along with the offer, so that you go out there and help them, or you provide telephone support, or?
It depends on the customer. Yes, we do. Some customers don't need it, and some customers very much welcome it. Typically, we find ourselves part of a long rolling list of A/B experiments. And the team, when we talk to teams, we are one of many things they want to try and do. So we feed into an e-commerce roadmap. We don't work in isolation. We don't just go in and do Holistic 1.0 or 2.0. We're typically part of a holistic solution.
And I have it's the same down the road. I mean, the same question for personalization. I mean, where do you get the data? Because you mentioned you get some data from the customer, you get it from the travel agents. But do you have any other source of data? Because in personalization, the issue is the data. I mean, the engine is important, but where do you get the data from, and how you put them together?
We did have this problem in the very earliest version of the product. We didn't have enough data. That's not to say that it's big data. We don't need tons and tons of data. So the current version of Holistic has a pretty sophisticated algorithm where we use content-based, which every travel retailer will have. Actually, that's what they have in spades. We use some event-based history, and that's enough for us to augment it. And finally, it's quite funny, what a lot of merchants want to do is they say, great, you've got a recommendation engine, but can I also use that to switch sell? So can I have business rules and say, if they're searching for Dubai, then I want to offer them this instead? And generally, our API typically returns between 5 and 7 personalized recommendations. And we normally go for 2, 2, and 1. So 2 truly personalized, 2 content, and 1 defined by the business. So we've fine-tuned that over time, and it seems to be working well now.
So if I understood you correctly, it sounds like you're doing personalization both on the website as well as to a call center, is that right? And is the call center personalization something that you do that's a little bit different from some of your competitors? So giving them input into who they should focus on outbound calling?
The multi-channel part is really important, right? So you have to have web, and we do call as well, and it is a differentiator, yes.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Great job.